Hello, I'm Coach Graham, Athletic Director for Florence City Schools. I wanted to do something different to highlight our senior athletes, let the school, community, and other viewers see our athletes in a different light. This show is designed to be laid back, fun, just kind of hanging out with a serious side built in. I love interacting with our student body, but I really love interacting with our student athletes. Get ready because we're about to do something that's really fun on set as we showcase each of our sports teams throughout the year and show them what they're able to do. Sit back and enjoy. Florence athletes hanging with the AD. Hi, I'm Coach Graham. This is Hanging with the AD. The title of this show is going to be Running and Swimming. I don't know if you know this about me or not, but those are two things that I'm not very good at all. I don't like to run unless I've got a ball in my hand or something's chasing me, and I can't swim. So to give you a little more insight about this, I brought on two people on the show today that are going to be able to tell you a little more about the sport, and we're going to hang out a little bit. So this time I'd like to welcome our guest to the show. First, we're going to have our senior cross-country runner, Mr. Bennett Brake, and our senior swimmer, Mike Kassels. We're just going to talk about life, hanging out, and a few things you may not know about these two young men. So sit back and enjoy Hanging with the AD. All right, guys, for starters, this has been a great senior year for both of you. Bennett, I know that you were selected for the North-South All-Star team by the Athletic Association. You also recently set a school record in the state meet, which was set by our former coach, Jeffrey Rhodes. And congrats, because you capped your senior season off by signing a scholarship with Troy. And Mike, I know that you would have definitely been an all-state swimmer, all-star swimmer with the Athletic Association if they offered that in swimming. However, you killed it at sectionals, killed it at state. And I just want you guys to tell us a little bit about what your mindset was going into your senior year.
Okay, well, for me, it was more of kind of just doing everything right, not wasting any time, not wasting a single day, setting really high goals, such as breaking the school record, and just going for it, you know, leaving nothing behind me, and then getting to the end of the year. My goal was not to, run a certain time. I did want to break the record set by him, but I didn't have a set time in mind for my goal. I just had my goal personally of knowing that I gave it everything I had. So even in the end, if I would have come up a little bit short, I would have been okay with it, because in the end I know that I was going to do everything I could and be satisfied with it. So I definitely think it worked out.
I think it did too.
Off,
Yeah.
I'm super excited for Troy. I cannot wait. There are some really, really cool guys on there. It's a great organization. I'm super, super happy with the way my senior year went, and I'm excited for track season as well.
Great. Mike?
That's the same thing with me. The aiming high and just doing everything that I could do. This, like you said, it's our senior season. This is our time to show out. This is our last year, so we got to go. And that was my mindset the entire time. We were always on go. There was never a time I wasn't off. I wasn't taking any breaks. I was always on go, because it's now or never.
All right, here's something that I'm going to ask every guest that's on my show. With it being your senior year, what was your thoughts when you were notified that we were going to be 7A this year?
For swimming, we already were classified 6A, 7. They put 6A, 7A together, and it's 1A, 5A. But it's the label of being a 7A school and having because 6A is still big, but 7A is even bigger, and it puts a lot more pressure on you.
Right.
And I mean, even at state, even though it's 6A, 7A, literally everybody that was in the finals was from a 7A school.
Gotcha.
And and it puts a lot more pressure on you.
No doubt.
Yeah.
What'd you think about it?
Well, for me, I knew it wasn't, needless to say, I mean, it's a lot more talent.
Right.
And the teams you see in 7A are way more deep. They have a lot more depth than the 6A schools, which is a challenge. You know, it was really disappointing. We had really big team goals. We really wanted to get top 2 and win a map in state for 6A. And we came in 4th last year being 6A, so we thought, hey,
Yeah.
We can come back. We can do this, and we knew we could, and we really believed it. And then being 7A, it was disheartening, but I honestly could not be happier with the way we were able to deal with it and just go into 7A. We did end up coming in 10th, but we put up a better, faster time than we did last year, even after
And that's what it's all about.
losing. Yeah, even after losing 3 of our top 5 last year. We reloaded, we put in the work, and I'm super happy with it. But yeah, right away, the first thought was, this is not gonna be good.
Yikes.
And from an athletic director standpoint, we made it by one kid. And so, or point 0.4 or 0.6 or something of a kid. It's crazy. I don't know how you get 0.4 of a person. But reading, looking at that from an AD standpoint, I was thinking, we're really back where we were originally when there was no 7A.
Yeah.
So all of our schedules are starting to resemble themselves. And, in the fall this year, we've really hit everything full speed. All of our fall sports have had a lot of success on the 7A level. So
good.
it's been really good. So they welcomed us in, and we welcomed the competition. So it's really good.
And also, shout out to Florence basketball right now. They're very, very hot as we speak.
Talk nice.
Yes, exactly. Thanks. All right, this question's for Mike. I already said I can't swim. So excuse my ignorance when I ask this question all the way around, but when you're out there in that water and you're swimming as hard as you can go, can you really hear the people that are beside the pool yelling and screaming at you, or are you just kind of hearing water in your ears? And what's it like in there?
You can hear, as soon as the buzzer goes off the start, everybody just loses it.
Yeah.
You hear it a little bit, but as soon as you dive in, you can't hear it. But
Right.
I swim the 200 and 100.
Yeah.
And the 100's more of a sprint event, but the 200 is a little bit more pace. And I couldn't hear, but I could definitely see my coaches all pushing the papers around trying to get me to go.
Exactly. Cool. All right, this question's for Bennett. But Mike, you can help him answer this one as well because it's going to be a 2-part question, obviously. Naturally, you're athletes and you compete at a high level, and all athletes want to win. But what does losing feel like to you, and actually what do you gain from losing?
I can say it's tough. It's tough with any sport. You got to deal with it. No matter what sport you're in. You have to learn from it though. Like the best thing you can do from a loss is look at what you did wrong, and just work harder to come back and do better in your next competition. For me, it's really hard. Some meets this year I was seeded to do higher than I was, and I would kind of consider that a loss individually. And underperforming is really tough, but the best thing you can do is just to take it and not be discouraged, but just use it as fuel to work harder in your upcoming workouts and your upcoming training to just come back even harder and not get discouraged.
Yeah.
And don't let your confidence get down. That's the best I can say.
Yeah, the biggest thing is not letting it get you down. And
Right.
There's one quote that failure is the greatest teacher.
Yeah.
Oh,
And that's
good.
that's something I took to heart because like you said, I would have times or place where I'll be seated higher, but I wouldn't perform to what my expectations were. And for me at least, I was my own biggest critic. And when I didn't perform, I always took it the hardest. I mean, I would have coached my teammates trying to bring me up, but I would be mad and I wouldn't be having it. But it's about going back at it, reevaluating what you did, and attacking it again.
Gotcha.
I could say as an example, in my sophomore year of cross country, we were battling for the section title against Decatur High School. And I was like 3rd or 4th on the team at that point because we had some seniors and I was only a sophomore. And I had an amazing race. I ran like the race of my life.
Right, yeah.
And I ended up coming first for our team, and I was so excited. And then we got the results back, and we lost by 1 point to Decatur as a team.
Yeah.
And I've never been so upset and so disappointed. A lot of the guys just couldn't believe it. And so, I definitely think from a team aspect, it's just as disheartening as it is for an individual aspect. But, like we said, the best thing you can do is just use it as fuel, come back even harder, and, try not to let it happen again.
Gotcha. Sounds good. One of the things we focus on at Florence High School is life after high school. We want our kids to graduate, especially our student athletes, and have a chance to be positive, productive citizens in society. What are your plans after high school?
I want to go to Auburn and pursue academics.
It's War Eagle.
War Eagle, homie. But right now my major is chemical engineering, but that's bound to change. And swimming is still gonna have a big impact in my life, just because what it's meant to me over the past year and what it's still gonna mean to me. Because I mean, I love the sport,
Right.
and that's never gonna change. But I might not be able to compete varsity, but I want to keep competing club,
Right.
and I want to keep doing what I can, and hopefully coach down the road eventually.
Gotcha.
Nice. For me, I'm so fortunate and so blessed and excited to be signing with Troy. So excited to get down there. So I'll be majoring in business, probably business risk management.
Yeah.
But for sure business. And I guess I'm not exactly sure what I'm going to do after undergrad, my 4 years. I do see myself going to grad school. I don't know where yet, though. And in terms of running, I'll be running there for 4 years on scholarship, cross country and track. And then after that, just recreational running as far as what I've got now. I don't think there's any chance of me being a pro runner or a coach, but
Right. Yeah.
but I mean, yeah, just
You
running
never know.
just running for fun,
Gotcha.
But yeah, I'm really excited for my future.
Good deal. Sounds like great plans for both of you. All right, this is another question I have to ask everybody that comes on the show. Athletes prepare for, competition in different ways. What's something that you do to prepare to get your mind right, and probably something that you do is a little weird that would get your mind right that our viewers can learn about you as athletes?
Well, Coach Graham, I am glad you asked. My little personal ritual is inspired by Grant Brown. This is actually what he would do every race before his senior year. He would eat a Ziploc bag of Honey Nut Cheerios, but I'm allergic to peanuts, but I changed mine to multigrain Cheerios. Every morning before a race, I'll wake up, just munch on those on the way to the bus. And then in terms of visualization, the couple of nights before, I see who's going to be in the race and teams that I know, and I just kind of sit down, usually in my room or in a chair or something, and I just close my eyes and I just visualize myself running a really great race, and seeing these people on these teams at certain spots, and just kind of plan out where or when I want to attack, and then kind of use that to go into the race and just run my best.
Yeah.
So I think it works.
Cool.
So,
Mike, what do you do?
Before state, I took a stack of Post-its with the times I wanted to get, and I had them all over. I had it in my bed. I put one on the ceiling, so when I woke up, it was the first thing I would look at.
You see, I love it.
Yeah, I would get out of bed, and the wall had one on the wall right there. I had them pretty much everywhere, and that helped me because I did the same thing you would do. I would visualize the race in my head. I would go through the start, each stroke, the turn, where everybody else would be, where I would be.
Right.
And then I got to the race. Right before the races, though, your little Honey Nut Cheerio thing, I would hit myself because I did sprint events, and you really you got to get your body going. Swimming sprint events, and I'd be smacking myself pretty hard.
Right.
And I got a little ritual. I'll do 8 or 10 this side, 8 or 10 this side, and I get my legs going. But you could see before and after the race, I have little. I have hand marks on my chest.
Yeah.
And I'm
beat yourself to death before you compete.
Beat myself up before the meet.
But you're almost numb to it because you do it so much, your body expects it.
I'm used to it.
Yeah, and that's what makes you get your mind right.
When I start doing that, it's already my mind's in go mode, so I'm not even thinking about that. It's just me in the water at that point, and it's just the extra stuff to really make sure my body's ready.
That's amazing because the things that you talked about, both of you, are really in line with what athletes do in other sports. It's all, regardless of what sport it is, it's the mindset.
Yeah.
And when you go in, it's kind of like a lion attacking things. And you attack the competition of whatever it is to get yourself right. So I think both of you, that they're unique in their own aspect, but at the same time, obviously they're great in your preparation because you both had success with it.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Your senior season in your sports have come to a close. I know that Bennett, you're going to be doing track in the spring, but cross country is officially closed. Swimming's closed for you, Mike. What do you want to say or leave behind for the future cross country runners and swimmers that are coming up the line? Because there's obviously always some younger runner, you looked at Grant Brown, you referenced. I mean, there's always a swimmer, someone that you look up to, and you're like, I want to beat that person with times or whatever. But what do you want to leave behind in terms of work ethic and things that they can expect?
Okay. You go. Yeah.
The biggest thing that I would say is never put a limit on yourself or anything that you can do, because if your mental game is right, that's 90% of the fight.
Right.
You can prepare physically, but if you're not present mentally, then you're not going to perform. And that was my biggest thing this year, because I only took like a year of serious training, but my mindset is what got me through that year of training, and it's my mindset that got me the times that I got. And just the biggest thing is just keep your head down and work, because you're not going to win every race.
Right. Yeah.
You're never going to have like that perfect race where like everything goes right. That's just
Right.
not going to
Right.
happen.
Yeah.
But the biggest thing is just keep working and never put a limit on what you can do, because you can do so much more than you really know.
Indubitably. The best advice I can give to any other runners, just kind of like that same thing. Work hard every day. Don't look back. Put everything behind you. And I can say that if you ever put in a lot of hard work, I mean, this happened to me this season. I was working really hard. I was working my butt off, and then through the mid-season, I ran into this lull where I just couldn't get anywhere close to my PR, and I kind of struggled with it. I struggled with, how you can work so hard and then not run, near what you did, like prior. And like I kind of realized that you're not going to have your best race every week, and you just got to keep working, keep your head down, do not get discouraged, and then just prepare yourself the best you can for the state meet. So that's a lot of it, and mental preparation. Especially with endurance sports. I mean, like running, swimming, biking.
Trust the process.
Yeah, your mind is 90% of the game. So, like, the best thing you can do after the work's been put in, the hay is in the barn, you just have to think about it and, like, just prepare yourself to just hurt for however long your race is. Because once it's over, the glory lasts forever.
Yeah.
So
This kind of goes back to the losing question earlier, but, like, there's one thing I would do where because I had the same thing with you. I had a really bad lull in the middle of the season. I mean, I was still winning my events, but I wasn't meeting my own expectations.
Didn't like your times,
Yeah, I had some pretty lofty expectations for myself.
Yeah.
But there's one thing I learned, because I would get really mad when I didn't do, because like you said, like you're working hard, and it like in your head you're working hard, you should do better, but it doesn't make any sense when your body's like you're doing all this, but you're not getting any better.
Yeah.
And I had a really bad habit. I would get really mad, but I kind of learned to. I would give myself like 20 minutes, 30 minutes after a race to just like be full rage, and like I didn't want to. Like I wouldn't
want to deal with people or anybody.
I wouldn't talk to anybody. I would just like show up, and I'll just. I'd be really mad, but then after that, you have to put it out of your head, and you can't let it affect you anymore.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, one of the things that coaches we talk about with athletes all the time is that's how long you remember things.
Yeah.
A loss or whatever, and you take the loss, as we talked about, or when you don't succeed at the level that you want to, and success is not there, you take that and you process it in your head and say, okay, I got to get better from this.
Yeah.
It does not define me. It doesn't hold me back. I'm better. And you literally, it's like a mental game that you play with yourself. And the coaches are going to be there, obviously, to keep encouraging you and keep you, because they know what you can do. Yeah. We only push people that we know have it inside of them to push. And sometimes, we push a little harder because we know they can take it. But, I always have this phrase, you got to have skin like an alligator. Because, we're going to break the skin. We're going to test you to see, because we know that life after sports, the real world, you get kicked down, you're going to fall, and your careers when you get there, are you going to have the mindset to keep competing for that top shelf job in the corporation that you work for or your field? And if you can't take sports and use that to do that for you, then you really didn't get what you should have gotten out of sports. And it's competition,
That was the biggest thing with swimming this year, because my academics and just everything else, I didn't really like.
Busy schedules.
Yeah, and I was like nonchalant. I didn't really care about anything.
Right.
But I took swimming to heart, and that brought everything else like into the picture, and then I realized like. I love swimming, but there's certain things I have to do, and I have to do them hard to get the success I want, and that fixed my mindset a lot this past year.
And I also want to give a congratulations to both of you, because you're great students as well. Student athletes is the term that we use to coin all of our athletes, obviously. So y'all are definitely representing that very well. AP all the way down the road. So that's really good on that. But those were great answers, guys, and I'm very proud. I think you both are going to have a lot of success at the next level, whatever you decide to do with obviously running and competing. And then with yourself, Mike, you never know. You may get to Auburn, and who knows what kind of doors will open up for you. So
Drop 5 seconds out of nowhere.
exactly, keep believing and keep working, man.
Yeah, I ain't giving up.
We hope you've enjoyed our show today. I want to first off say great job to Mike Kassels and Bennett Brake. You guys were outstanding on set. Obviously, you had a great knowledge to give back to our fan base, and great insight on what you are as athletes and students and people as well. That's what we want to do. I want to give a shout out to my man Nick and Aaron in the studio, Mr. Bruce, for the time that y'all have given us to come up and shoot the show. Florence Falcon Photography, obviously BSN Sports for providing our Nike gear that we have. And we're very proud of these young men again. They're going to be good at what they do. I mean, you can just tell them and talking to them. So at this time, this is our last show for Hanging With the AD. And we want to welcome you to the next one. Until then, we're out.